morning, dear students. Welcome to the Institute for Open Learning. For those pursuing an advanced certificate in secondary education and those for diploma in secondary education. I am your tutor, Mr. Smanza, for the subject Business Studies. I can be contacted at the number provided above, 081 440 339. Our subject for today will be examination based for 2020. Let's look at the class content for today. What is it that we expect to cover? The class for today will cover important topics for the examination preparations. It will be a summary of the 3 examinations. That is for May, August, and November 2020. The class will also serve as a guide for the said examination in terms of preparation and writing. You are advised to take note that the class will not serve as a scope for the said examination. Please take note. Let's look at the topics of discussion for today. We are going to discuss about important business terms. We are going to look at the evolution of business activities. Where did the exchange of goods and services started? We are also going to look at the types of ownership, businesses that we can get in that emanated from such evolution. We are also going to look at the business classification in the economy. Who are the people who have interest in such activities, who are referred as to stakeholders? We are also going to look at the management and leadership in business activities. We are also going to look at the level at which people involved in the exchange of goods and services, the certification in such exchange. We are also going to look at what are those things that are exchanged in those business activities. We are also going to look at the communication in business activities and other important topics that we may cover. Let's therefore start with the business terms. It is important for every business stakeholders, including those aspiring to be teachers, to fully understand the business terms. You are advised to look at business terms that may include economics, the needs and wants, the resources which are used in the process of producing goods and services. You're also advised to look at land as also one of the factors of production. Look at the market economies, the planned economy, labor, entrepreneur, specialization, a few to mention, but read and understand all business terminologies. Now, one may ask a question: when and where did the process of exchange of goods and services starts, we are now referring to the evolution of business activity in society, in the world, and in the economies of any state or country. The evolution of such activities started way back when people only used to collect what was needed for their immediate use and not for others. For example, Bushmen were the best example in this case, where they used to go for hunting. They kill animals just for their use for that day. They farm just a small portion of land just for their immediate certification. Then therefore the world progressed. Things were changing when now people started to grow and gather food which was enough to share with others. The change or the progression continued where people started to share goods with others in terms of exchange. For example, where one gathered more apples and did not have maize or did not have enough maize, so such people had to exchange such goods between each other. The evolution continued where technology came in, where people now, instead of exchanging goods with goods, now the exchange of money came in, where you exchange money with a product. Then that process is therefore, or that stage is therefore referred as to the modern society. Then when we say the money involved is now referred as to modern society, then we therefore refer the exchange of goods with goods to the traditional society. So the evolution summarily took two stages: the traditional aspect of society and the modern aspect of society. Now, let's look at the forms of ownership in such business activities, or the forms of ownership that are now found in such modern society. The best examples may include the sole trader type of ownership, where the business is run by one person who has the full control and the authority to make decisions, as compared to partnership, where two or more than three people are involved as shareholders. The private, public, cooperative, close cooperation, public cooperation are a few to mention as types of ownership that one gets in the business activity or in any economy of any state. Let's look at the classification of businesses in the economy or any sector of the society. Such classifications that we have just discussed had reasons of why businesses has to be classified in two categories. And such reasons includes that was to compare or is to compare the business growth within a specific type of industry. The other reason is also to enable the government to set imported duties or tariffs in a specific type of industry, to analyze the changes in the size of sector of the economy, for example, the fishing industry growing or declining. It also helps to identify the changing consumer spending pattern and also to assist the government in planning. That is the reason of classifying businesses in society or in any economic sector. Shareholders and business growth. One may ask a question: what does stakeholders means? What does business growth means? Stakeholders are people or parties who have interest in the business activity. These may include the internal and external stakeholders, whereas internal may include the organizational management, the employees, and the shareholders. The external may include the banks, customers, society, or the community who are customers to such a business. Read and understand to identify the internal and external stakeholders. Business growth. Any business has the objective to grow. The growth of a business may therefore take an internal way or the external approach of growing. It is a business strategy to grow. So the businesses or the organizational management may take any approach from the two, either internal or external, in order for it to grow. The internal may include the approaches such as introducing the new products or increase the outputs to sell more in order for the business to grow. The external, therefore, may include the approach such as the acquisition, buying of other businesses, or merging with other businesses. In short, but you are advised to read more and understand the other types of approaches in which a business may grow. Also look at the advantages and the disadvantages of such an approach, because a question may come. State or discuss any approach of business growth. Choose any of the approaches which you may think is best for a business and give reasons for your choice. Just an example. So you must look at the advantage and the disadvantages associated to such choices. And such may include the cost aspect, the profit, employment, liability, and any other factor that may be found to be part of such a choice. Let's look at the management and leadership aspect in such businesses. Any business in any sector has people that are running such a business. They have people who are leading such businesses. Now, what are the types of leadership that one may get in any economy? Examples include the autocratic, which is the common type of leadership where a leader has the full power or the authority to lead and take decision in the organizational activities, and the democratic, which is a consultative type of leadership where a leader consults employees and other stakeholders in decision making in order to effectively and efficiently obtain the business objective. The laissez-faire is also another type of leadership. So read and understand and identify more types of leadership, because you may be asked a question to state any 5, 10 or types of leadership that one may get in any state of economy. Also look at the characteristics, the advantages and disadvantages of such type of leadership. It is also therefore important, first, even before you need to understand and identify the types of leadership, to first understand the meaning of management and leadership. They may seem to be similar in its context, but they are two different aspects in managing an organization, whereas management is all about planning, leading, organizing, and controlling of the business activities. Management is also a position in an organization. It is a process of planning, leading, organizing, and controlling. And management is all about doing or executing the business activities through procedures. Whereas leadership is a process of inspiring others or followers, and it is therefore a natural authority. And such people have the power or the influence to lead, reward others for their achievement. Read and understand the difference between such aspects. Now, what are the qualities of such managers in the management aspect of an organization or a business, so to say? A good manager is therefore required to have good communication skills that should and must be verbal or written. A good leader, an ideal manager, should have the flexibility skills, should be self-confident and reliable for the responsibilities given to him or her. Let's look at the job satisfaction at work or in the business activity. I hope you are understanding the flow. From the involution that there is a business activity. Such business activities includes businesses. Such businesses have employees and people who run such businesses. Now, those employees have to be satisfied or either dissatisfied with the organizational management. They have to be satisfied for them to excel effectively and efficiently towards obtaining the business goal. Now, as a manager, as a good manager, how do you satisfy your employee? What are the factors that an organization needs in order to satisfy its employees? The working condition is one of the factors, the most important factor that motivates employees to be satisfied or to perform their duties as expected. There is also an aspect of opportunity for advancement. Are you just keeping your employees where they are since they were employed? There is a need to provide more training. There is a need to provide more knowledge in any approach that a business may take to advance or grow its employees' knowledge. The work overload. It is also one of the important aspects that managers need to look at when they are giving their employees work to do, and ensure that their employees should not be overloaded, be given more work that they cannot achieve or do at the expected and agreed time. Respect from co-workers. Employees' respect, management and the employees themselves is one of the factors that motivates employees to do better at work. A relationship with the supervisors and the financial reward. The organization makes more money but pays employees less. What does it mean? Employees will complain and they will not be satisfied. When an employee is not satisfied, it means he cannot perform his duty willingly in order to assist the business to achieve its goals. So it's for the management to make sure that the financial rewards are paid with the organizational or the business benefit or financial status. Let's look at the product as an item that is used in the evolution of the business activity. What is it that is exchanged between people or businesses? Products have different types in any business, depending on the nature of business that one does. So such types of products include the consumer products, the industrial products, services, and places. Read and understand what it means when one says consumer product, industrial product, because a question may come to differentiate such or to discuss such types of products. Let's look at communication as one of the important aspects that is needed in any relationship. Communication, as mentioned earlier, is one of the qualities required for a good leader or manager. What is communication? A question may come. Discuss, explain your understanding with relation to the meaning of the term communication. It is simply means the way of sending and receiving information between parties in any relations, either in business, either on a social basis. It is the approach or the process of sending and receiving information, just like I'm doing. I'm sending information to the students to receive. Now, in this process of sending information from the sender to the receiver, there are always some challenges that may hinder the information to be delivered effectively and efficiently to the receiver. A question may come for you to mention, to state or explain any of the common communication barriers. And such barriers includes the use of technology, the emotional barriers and taboos. These are traditional beliefs. The lack of attention, distraction, and interest in the process of sending information. There might be an aspect where perhaps the receiver is not paying more attention. The mind is somewhere, the mind is busy, is tired, and is distracted by something else. So lack of attention may be one of the barriers in the process of sending and receiving information. Different perception and viewpoints. When, for example, you are debating on a certain point or a certain topic and you have different views, at the end you may seem not to have reached an understanding or a mutual understanding, so to say. So such can be referred as to a barrier. There is an aspect of physical disability. One may not hear, one may not see. So for two to exchange, one does not understand and one cannot speak, or the other one cannot hear. So there can be some difficulties in communication. There are physical barriers to non-verbal communication, language and culture. One may speak English, one may not understand. We may have a different understanding in terms of pronunciation, so to say. So those are a few to mention in the types or the barriers that one may get in the process of sending and receiving information. Let's look at the examination preparation and right guiding. The preparation aspect therefore includes that students are advised on a social basis to first pray before they start studying and before they start writing. It is an advice on a social basis. All questions in the examinations are from the content of the Institute study guide. The study guide provided to you is a summary or the source of all the questions that are going to be asked in the examination. And you are therefore not limited to that said study guide, but you are advised to search for more sources. Go to the library, go on internet and search for information for you to get a better understanding. Make sure you understand each unit outcome. And please make sure that you get the information in relation to the venue and the time in advance before the date of writing. Do not forget to carry enough materials necessary for the examination, and these may include things such as a pen, a watch, a ruler, a calculator, a student card, and any other material that may be required in such a case. Now, during the exam, what is it that a student is expected? As I said, on a social basis, pray before you start writing. Please make sure that you read the questions carefully and the examination instructions in order to avoid the disqualification or the loss of marks. You are also advised to take not to take any form of notes in the examination, as it may result in the disqualification from the exams. Please consider the allocated marks to each question, as this is to guide you on the content required in order to get the full marks. Make sure you understand the meaning of the verbs used in questions. For example, when you are asked to discuss, please point out the positive and the negative future and arrive at the conclusion. When you are told to briefly outline, please explain in short or briefly. When you are asked to differentiate, look at the differences between such as terms. When you are asked to state, please list or present the asked aspects. And when you are asked to compare, please look at the similarities and the differences between such terms. These verbs are there in your study guides. Please read and understand in order to avoid the loss of marks. I have also identified some few challenges when students are answering questions. For example, when a question comes that says, why do managers fail? Why do managers fail? I'm expecting you to answer in a point form and explain. For example, when you say poor interpersonal skills, you explain that point. When you say lack of confidence, you explain what you mean. Failure to adapt, you explain what it means. You will see that perhaps I have asked you to give 5 points, but each requires 2 marks. So the point of poor interpersonal skills is a mark, and explanation is a mark. Please, this is to avoid you losing marks. There are also other important topics that you are advised to cover. In this case, the questionnaire aspect, look at the meaning, the purpose, and the steps in developing such questionnaires. Look at the entrepreneur, the meaning and the characteristics. Also look at the qualities of an entrepreneur. Look at the important role of the government. What is it that is expected? What is it that is required from the government to the economy? Look at the aspect of budget. What does it mean? What is its purpose? What is its advantage and disadvantage? Also look at the types of budgets. The personal, the business, a few to mention. Look at the types of economies. The market economy, the planned mixed. Please read and understand. Look at the sectors that are found in such economies, the public and the private sector. Read and understand. A question may come. Discuss differentiate the meaning, discuss the advantages and disadvantages. Please read and understand. My dear student, that was in short about our class for today, and I wish you good luck.